My name is Margaret Ann Windsor. The name I have to use is Peggy Ann Dempsey. I'm married to Childers. And briefly, before I get to the reason I'm making this today, I found out in '83 when I was flown out to Larry Flint's. I began finding out I was in a political campaign to replace U.S. Congressman, urologist doctor at Piedmont Hospital in Atlanta, Larry McDonald. His plane went down on August the 31st of '83, and I was flown out to Mr. Flint's. Mr. Flint had been shot in Lawrenceville, March the 6th of '78, while I was doing a medical malpractice book, and as I say, Larry McDonald was part of it. Then I'm skipping what they did to me, okay? I had a letter from the FBI, June the 23rd, '79, ongoing investigation, national security involved. So really, this boils down to who I am. My dad's Edward the Eighth. He never married Wallace Simpson. My father was married to Georgia O'Keeffe, the artist's sister. Claudia Ruth O'Keeffe is my mom. So that whole thing was a lie and a takedown, using an imposter to marry Wallace Simpson. They became the illegal Duke and Duchess of Windsor. Now, this is my father here. They've changed photographs, they've done everything. Lied about it all. He was abdicating. It was a forced abdication. So he took the crown, monarchy, and when my grandfather died, I question how he died, now knowing what I know today. And he was forced to abdicate December of that year. Okay, so they replaced him with this man who married Wallace Simpson. And he was buried in 1972 at Frogmore, Windsor Castle, and so was she. Now, this is a total lie. There's no legal Duke and Duchess. They're imposters. So I showed Larry Flint because people know he was shot, and he endorsed me, and it was a mind control shooting. I'd worked for doctors, and I was writing about mind control. And this is my uncle in '39 meeting after leaving Canada, and he became the illegal monarch, taking his own brother down with nothing but lies. And this is Roosevelt. He's Jewish. Franklin Delano was president. This is next to who is not the Queen Mom. She's kin to the Rothschilds, and God knows who else that helped kidnap me. Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, Jewish, and here's Roosevelt, Jew, who appointed Joe Kennedy. That's JFK's father, ambassador to England. 36, the irony of it all, when my father became king and then was taken down. And so my father was married to my mom. And I was born in '39, and my uncle here, George VI, is with Roosevelt planning my kidnapping. Because the day I was born, I came back according to a legal, went through channel, addendum, attachment to the forced abdication that if my father, Edward VIII, had an heir, the heir would not be disinherited. That heir would be the legal monarch the day I was born. And I was born 1939. So my father would have come back as my guardian and spokesperson, power of attorney. Well, the powers that be took my father down, kidnapped me, brought me to Moulton, Alabama, gave me the name of a twin. It was a pigsty. And I'm going to show you one of the twins, Carl Preston Dempsey. Lina Dempsey was a psychopath, later diagnosed, and I have the doctor's name and everything, as a psychopath. She killed her twins. The family covered it up. And they gave me the name of the twin, Peggy. And I'm Ann, and I still have to use that name. And here's where the state of Alabama actually marked through the date of birth on the certificate for Carl. I'm not going to show Peggy's. Same thing there. But they gave me a different birth date than the twins. They were actually would be, I'm told, and I understand it's true, that they were born about a year prior to. They were born in '38, and they would have been about a year old. So it didn't jive, and that's illegal to do that according to the birth certificates. So I wanted to go here and say why that I have tried to put up as evidence what's happened to me since I've come here. It's been going on. I didn't know it. I was diagnosed, and it all made sense after I came up here. I had worked for doctors. Nobody told me that I had an autoimmune disorder, and that when in close quarters with toxic fumes, it triggers my immune system and makes it attack itself. It makes me vulnerable to massive inflammation and other diseases that my immune system, being low, cannot fight off. It's fighting itself. So part of that, I have I've been deliberately kept homeless. In fact, I'll quote Mr. Flint here when I was out there. He said, "You don't have to tell me anything about yourself. I know all there is to know." He says, "I know they were going to send you back a vegetable." And by that, I knew that he knew about April the 1st of 80 when they put antifreeze in me, and I should have died. It was a miracle I didn't. But sending me back, I didn't understand till I found out about being British, stolen from the UK. My dad's Edward VIII, and I'm Queen Victoria II, the legal heir. So if I can get back, because this is the reason I'm putting this up today, per se, I am really fighting to keep my memory. And if anybody has kept up with my videos, I've put up just about every day for the past, I got my phone back. It was taken, so I got it back in August the 14th, I believe, and I started putting them up again as evidence because the law doesn't work for me. It's the agency that's doing it, and, well, the people do it. They don't have to do it. They're breaking the law. It's because I'm British. It doesn't matter. My mom was an American, the O'Keefes, God bless her, and my father. And can you imagine the massive lie that they've done with my father and mother and me, my children? But I want to get what they've done. I'm bouncing around because this is part of what's going on. The immune disorder, I have to take a pill for inflammation. And I've done that for the last at least 15 years. I've taken 2 pills a day. And the doctor has told me the last, because I also mentioned it, because the doctor before that first prescribed it said that it can damage your kidneys too. Well, that's what I'm fighting against, is the forced breathing where I've had to be, and it's assault on me. They get things on someone, their kids or their income taxes or whatever. Everybody has something to hide. And they get people to conspire is what it is and do things to me because they don't have to pay for their crimes. So I'm going to skip. You can understand that. Of course you can. Edward Snowden's over in Russia now. By the way, Russia kicked the Rothschild Bank out. They're the ones that kidnapped me, the Rockefellers that control your media, and they got my money with Elizabeth, etc., the massive amounts of money. And I'm a pauper. That's what Mr. Flint said. They made a pauper out of you. So anyway, if I'm bouncing around, I wanted to get to this. If anybody's looked at my videos about when I got the phone back, August 11th this year, and started uploading again, you can see the difference in me. I have so deteriorated my kidneys, my lungs, but you can tell my face has totally changed. The puffiness around my eyes, the dark, the inflammation has gotten, I have rosacea, and that's from inflammation. Also, I'm inhaling the toxic fumes. but they're so bad. And I've tried to tell it's done at such a high level, and people want to dismiss it, even though here they know, and I couldn't make it up. So I'm just going to put down what's happened because my memory is really scaring me because yesterday when I left here, and I got out of the car at Kroger to get my inflammation medicine, and that's all I take, that and high blood pressure and vitamins. So you'd think I was in good health. I would be, except for the toxic fumes I'm forced to inhale. So I got out and went into Kroger, and I was totally at a loss. My memory, I had been in here in the apartment for about a week, a little over a week now. And I went in there, and I really had lost my memory. I couldn't put things together. I was totally confused. And it's very scary being what they did to me April Fool's Day of 80, okay, with antifreeze. So anyway, I wanted to say that. Just take a look at the picture. So I'm just going to chronicle what's happened the last year and a half, or not even that. I'm going to start with where I left about two and a half weeks ago now, last of last month. I had been staying once again at the Motel 6 in Troutman. And it's owned by the same people here that own just about everything. I put that up too. And if I try to leave, I'm running back to Roanoke. So the first time I left there is about 2 years ago, about this time. And suddenly in the middle of winter here almost, they're remodeling. So all that stuff I'm allergic to. And then I left, and I came back earlier this year in April, and they just suddenly came around and were right at your door, my door. They were putting cement with glue, and glue is horrible to me. Okay, I had to leave. I'm very sick, and all the time this is killing me. Inflammation, my organs, all of it. And to hell with any life, being happy or any kind of happiness or going somewhere or being a human. Okay, now then, I'm leaving out other parts. I can't tell it all. I have in the past, but you have to pin it together. So now then I have to leave there. I'm there again the last of June? Stayed there a little over 2 months or 2 months. Suddenly they come in and they're paving right in front of my door, up and down, around the whole thing. I had to almost be propped up to get out and away, which puts me into spending money I don't have. I went to a motel, and from there I went to where I am now. And I'm going to say this. I'm at affordable corporate suites. Not affordable, that's in the past. This is American affordable suites. I think they're owned by different people, pretty sure. But anyway, I called her, and I've stayed here before in the past, some years ago, and I know her briefly. She owns it. And I told her what had happened, why I'd left out there, and the paving, again reiterated, and I said, do you have a room? Well, she said no. But she called me back and said, well, she did have one that a man moved in and out of real quick, and she didn't know it, so I could have this room. And she said something about he moved downtown. Well, I was so desperate I had nowhere else to go. I picked up my money, what I had that day, and came over here. It was my check, and I came here, and the cab is waiting. That's costing me money. He's waiting, and it looks okay when I come in, so I go ahead and take it. I didn't have a choice. It was that or camping in the woods where they'd run me and lock me up. Okay, I went in and talked with her not briefly, a little bit, and she assured me that they had not, and she did that on the phone though, that they had not paved, they had not remodeled, nothing like that. Well, not even 2 days later, maybe at the most, they're all around me. I walk out and I'm shocked. I'm feeling bad, really bad. I know something's going on. They're doing the carpets. It's not a Stanley steamer. She said that they were using no chemicals. Well, that's a lie. they're painting the doors. And they just yesterday finished some of this.